Parshat Vaera is where HaShem takes off the gloves and goes full bare-knuckled. Up until now, the story has been all about promises, genealogy, frustration, and Moshe wondering why he ever answered the burning bush's cell phone call. Vaera is where HaShem says, in effect, enough talking. Watch what happens when reality itself answers me. This Sidra isn't about magic tricks versus magic tricks. It's about authority versus illusion, memory versus denial, and what happens when a civilization builds itself on the lie that power is ultimate. I want us to look at this Parsha from three perspectives: the written Torah, the Mishnah, and the Gemara. From the written Torah, we have what I like to call the name game. I appeared to Avraham, Isaac, and Jacob as El Shaddai, but by my name, Yod-He-Vav-He, I was not known to them. Shemot, Exodus 6, verse 3. This is not a branding update. This is a shift in how the divine interacts with history and his chosen people, Israel. El Shaddai is the Elohim of promises, whereas Yod-He-Vav-He is the Elohim of fulfillment. The Avot lived with promises deferred. Egypt is about promises detonating. The written Torah is making a radical claim. History itself is about to become a revelation. Not visions, not dreams, not private prophecy. Public, undeniable disruption of reality. This is the Torah's first mass demonstration that freedom is not negotiated, it is imposed by truth. The Mishnah's perspective is one of power, accountability, and measure for measure. The Mishnah in Avot 5 verse 4 famously states, "With 10 plagues the Holy One struck the Egyptians in Egypt." The Mishnah is not counting for trivia night. It's teaching a principle. Systemic evil requires systemic dismantling. Egypt is not punished for being cruel. Egypt is punished for being coherent in its cruelty. Every plague corresponds to a structure of Egyptian power. Its economy, blood hail, its agriculture, frogs, locusts, its physical health, boils, its environment, lice, darkness, and its theology, death of the firstborn. The Mishnah assumes something modern people forget. Empires sin as systems, not just as individuals. The Gemara's insight reveals why the magicians matter. The Gemara in Sanhedrin 67b and Menachot 85a discusses the Egyptian Khartoumim, the magicians. Why does HaShem give them screen time at all? Because the Torah wants us to see the moment where imitation collapses. Blood? They can fake it. Frogs? Sure, easy peasy. Lice? Oh, they're done for. Their only response to Pharaoh. Etzba Elokim He. This is the finger of the Elohim. Shemot 8, verse 15. The Gemara explains that magic works by manipulation of nature, but revelation overrides nature. This is the Torah's mic drop. Power that depends on trickery always fails when truth enters the room. In this, Parsha Pharaoh becomes an anti-Teshuvah case study. The Gemara in Berakot 7a and Rosh Hashanah 17a wrestles with the hardest question. Did Pharaoh lose free will? Answer, not at first. Pharaoh hardens his own heart repeatedly. Only later, due to Pharaoh's stubborn persistence in the obvious presence of HaShem's working, does the Torah say HaShem strengthens, hardens it. The Gemara's principle is brutal and honest. When a person repeatedly rejects truth, heaven eventually locks the door they insist doesn't exist. Pharaoh isn't punished by plagues. He's punished by consistency. The plagues actually can be seen as decreation. The Gemara, Pesachim 54a, hints at something wild. The plagues reverse creation. Water becomes chaos by turning into blood. Boundaries collapse with frogs everywhere, even the palace of Pharaoh, and order dissolves into darkness you can literally feel. Egypt worshipped nature as divine stability. Vaera teaches, nature is not HaShem, it is a tool. Creation itself bends when justice demands it. Israel gets a life lesson that all that has happened here isn't revenge, it's divine revelation. Did you notice something strange? Israel doesn't fight. They watch. The Gemara in Avodah Zarah 2b explains, redemption must be seen, not just achieved. Slaves who escape quietly still think like slaves. Slaves who watch empires collapse learn something permanent. No human power is absolute, ever. After 3,300 years, why does Vaera still hurt? Vaera makes modern people uncomfortable because it refuses to apologize for its moral clarity. Evil is real, human power lies, and true freedom costs something. The Mishnah and Gemara refuse to soften this. They insist a world without consequences is not compassionate, it's corrupt. So I ask again, why, after 3,300 years, does Vaera's warning shot still hurt? Because in truth, Vaera is not ancient history. It's a warning label to leaders who confuse authority with divinity, to cultures that worship control, to individuals who keep hardening their hearts and calling it strength. HaShem doesn't introduce himself with philosophy here. He introduces himself with reality. He is reality, and reality, once revealed, never unreveals itself. Thank you for watching the entire video or reading the blog. There is so much here in this Parsha, so I encourage you to read and study it for yourself and with others. Please like, subscribe, and share with others. Find all my works on Rumble, Locals, YouTube, Substack, and Blogger. Leave comments below, and you can contact me via email to shmu@startmail.com. Until next time, this is Shmuel ben Shlomi of Shmu's Views wishing you a Shabbat Shalom.